Agents, how are you going to end 2025 and start 2026? How we end typically will dictate how well we start in 2026. So I wanted to touch a few points. A lot of people will send out Merry Christmas and Happy New Year emails to our clients, especially the ones that are experiencing their first or their second Christmas and New Year's in a new home. So I want you to think about all the buyer side transactions that you did in the last 12 months. So if you did business with me, there's a good chance that they may have gone to one of my wholesalers. The number one wholesaler is United Wholesale Mortgage, and I particularly did about 85 to 90% of my purchase deals with them because of the things that they offer and their efficiencies. Today, I want to leverage two other things that they do to try to help you potentially leverage and get 2026 going into a good pace to start the year. Okay, so a lot of people know that I do have access to the Bright MLS system, and if you wanted me to do this on your behalf, you could send me your Bright number, and I could pull and generate your production report and get your buy-side transactions for the year. This is Ron Leffler. He sends me some business in Alexandria. And once I have that report, United Wholesale Mortgage has this home value estimator. And what I want to talk about is the importance of this estimator is they actually use this on their jumbo financing when you get an appraisal, and instead of asking for a second appraisal, some of their products will use this particular system and give a 5 or a 10% variance, and then allow a loan to close. This is like a second appraisal that they'll use as an average. If this comes out to be within 5 or 10% of what the appraiser says, they'll go with what the appraiser says. Okay, so they actually put some weight behind this. So I'm going to type in an address here. Let's do a different one. I'm going to do 8008 Ashboro Drive in Alexandria. And this is powered by Housing Canary. Okay, so here it's giving me a report that basically this house was sold April 25th, and it's giving me a value of $637, and it was sold or purchased for $599. So in this particular case, we download this PDF, and this is something that you could send out to your client along with your, hey, Merry Christmas, have a nice New Year. Look, your house has appreciated since you bought it, right? And it's an 8-page report that goes through recent similar comparables, active listings, historical similar comparables, nearby properties, and then goes into some market analysis, and then it has a glossary. But what I'm suggesting that you consider is that by sending this report, you are effectively, one, making them feel great that their value potentially increased, in this case, $36,000 in 9 months, but you're also hitting that touch point with something of value. Now, another thing that UWM is doing, and I don't know if you caught the news at one point, but UWM is partnering with Bilt and what Bilt was originally was a credit card point system where someone could pay their rent and they would get points for local things that they could buy throughout the area. Okay, so the way I look at that is they're going to be changing this program to essentially be a situation where you can say, what if I told you that your mortgage payment could be rewarding? Not just in the sense of building equity, but actually earning points, discounts, and exclusive neighborhood benefits with every single mortgage payment that you make. That's essentially what is going to be happening. And if your mortgage was originated and is still being serviced with UWM, you're going to be able to transition and get this or enter into this program. And likewise, this program's only going to be available through mortgage brokers like myself, right? So in general, when you're making referrals out for your lending partners, this is going to be huge next year when it really hits the ground running. There are going to be people that literally will say, can you offer this? And you're going to need a partner that can. So this is the future of home ownership, you know, and I'm excited that in general that there's going to be a way for people to get points effectively by just paying their mortgage on time. And you can check that out, and there's another link here for some of the questions. But as I see it, and a lot of the details aren't out yet, UWM's giving like $100 million into this partnership. And anything that UWM typically does might be a little bit rocky to start, but then turns out really well as it gets going. And so this Bilt 2.0, I feel, is what they're talking about, because there's a Bilt program for people that are renting now, and then they're going to transition these individuals who are renting to be able to build points to actually potentially help them in their home ownership and buying in the future. So it's going to be exciting to see how this evolves. But the way this Bilt 2.0 launch is supposed to take effect is February 7th of next year. So this could be pretty exciting to watch and pay attention to, where your recommendations to someone such as myself that has UWM as a true business partner, these are some tools that I have that if you go to a local lender, they're just not going to have. And so my name's Kevin Retcher, and one thing I'd like to say is I'd love to wish you a fantastic Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I would love to help you get some of these reports out to some of your clients that you've helped buy homes. And they may be in the market for a no-cost refinance at this point. And I've also, so in general, you may be able to open that conversation up in many different ways than just sending an email. My name is Kevin Retcher, owner of First Meridian Mortgage. This is an episode of The Till. The Till, if you don't know, is truth in lending and in life. I'll talk to you soon. Merry Christmas.